She noticed the receipt only after she'd already left the store. Folded once, slipped into the pocket of her coat, warm from the printer. At first, she thought it was just longer than usual. Then she saw the handwriting at the bottom. If you ever want to talk about books instead of groceries, Alex. No pressure. No smiley face. Just a name and a quiet invitation. She stood outside for a moment, watching people pass, wondering how often moments like this go unnoticed. The cashier had seemed ordinary enough. Calm. Polite. The kind of person you wouldn't expect to take chances. That made it feel braver somehow. She didn't text that day. Or the next. Life filled the space easily. Work, errands, routines that kept everything predictable. Still, the receipt stayed in her pocket longer than it should have. She smoothed it out once, then folded it again, like the choice itself needed time. 3 days later, she sent a message. Simple. Honest. I like books more than groceries too. The reply came quickly, but not rushed. He suggested a small bookstore cafe a few streets away. Neutral. Comfortable. A place where conversation didn't need to perform. They talked for hours. About stories that stayed with you long after finishing them. About characters who felt more real than people sometimes. About how easy it is to miss connections when you're moving too fast to notice them. He admitted he almost hadn't written the note. She admitted she was glad he did. They didn't rush what followed. Meetings became regular, then familiar. Texts turned into shared silence. Comfort grew not from intensity, but from attention. From choosing each other in small, consistent ways. One evening, months later, she found the receipt while cleaning her coat. The ink had faded slightly, the paper soft from time. She showed it to him, laughing. He smiled and said he'd wondered if she kept it. Some stories don't begin with a grand gesture. They begin with a small risk, taken quietly. And a person who chooses to read it all the way to the end. What surprised her most wasn't how easily the relationship fit into her life, but how gently it changed it. She stopped rushing through the store. Stopped treating small interactions like background noise. She noticed people more, not with expectation, just with presence. The world felt slightly slower, like it had been asking her to pay attention all along. Alex stayed the same. Thoughtful. Steady. He never tried to impress her with big gestures. Instead, he remembered details, the book she mentioned once and forgot about, the way she took her coffee, the fact that she liked quiet mornings more than late nights. It made her feel seen in a way that didn't demand anything in return. They built something ordinary and meaningful at the same time. Grocery trips together became a ritual. He always chose the wrong fruit. She always teased him for it. Sunday afternoons were for reading on opposite ends of the couch, occasionally sharing a sentence that felt worth interrupting silence for. There was comfort in knowing nothing had to be dramatic to be real. One evening, standing in line at the same store where it had started, she watched him chatting casually with a customer ahead of them. Nothing special. Nothing symbolic. And yet she felt a quiet certainty settle in her chest. Not excitement. Not fear. Just recognition. Later, at home, she pulled the old receipt from a drawer where she'd finally placed it. The ink was barely visible now, but she knew every line by heart. She didn't keep it because it marked the beginning. She kept it because it reminded her that sometimes the smallest risks carry the most weight. Some love stories begin loudly. Others whisper their way into your life. And stay because you learn to listen.